Alrighty, today is May 7th, and it's been, I believe, 2 weeks since we planted out most of the things we started from seed into the garden. So I figured I'd do a little quick update. So here we have the cilantro that was seeded late or early March, I believe. And then we have the 3 bachelor's buttons. This is the one we did plant these 3 2 weeks ago, and this one's already got a bloom on it. Then we have the 4 gomphrena here, which have increased in size, as well as the 2 zinnias, and they both have little buds on them. Then we have a crackerjack marigold, 2 calendula here that were already blooming when we planted them. And then here is the bachelor button I transplanted from that bed over there, and it's a pretty purple lavender color. Then we have the San Marzano tomato, I believe that is, and then another crackerjack marigold and a basil. And I don't see my tags for that's interesting. But here we have another tomato, and that's the cherry tomato, basil, crackerjack marigold, lots of blue bachelor buttons, and then some gomphrena, and this one's already got a little bloom on it, and it's going to be that bright fuchsia purple color. 2 more gomphrena, a bunch of onions, and then the sunflowers here, as well as some more bachelor's button. And we did have a pink one that bloomed here, but I had to deadhead it. And then we do have 2 zinnias right there tucked in as well. And going back here, we have our volunteer sunflower, the lavender plant, which is starting to get little bloom stalks on it. Then there's the 3 orange watermelons that I planted, have all come up. I think some volunteer marigold right there, zinnia. And then here is the cabbage bed. I doubt we'll get any cabbage this year because it's so late, but then we have the lettuce, some more lettuce right there in between all of these, bok choy, which I need to cut. They've gone to seed. Then we have some onion there, 3 lettuce plants, some Kalima beans. There's Miss Blanche. And it looks like I need to come in and reseed some of these Kalima beans. It looks like maybe 3 or 4 didn't come up here in the front. 3 more lettuce plants, more onion, a basil, another basil. There is a Kalima bean right there. There's dill right there that has come up. And then we have the 3 Cherokee purple tomatoes, all getting good size, and they do have their first tomatoes on them. And then Kalima bean there, and we have some there as well. And then right here is a pepper bed. So we have 2 jalapenos, some California Wonder, and then there's a banana and a poblano there. Not sure which is which because the tags are facing that way. But then here we have I believe this is the poblano. Yes, and then there is the center is the banana peppers. And they've all got quite a bit of growth. You can see the ones that I did top off have put on quite a bit of new growth there. Again, some cilantro, which is already going to seed, but I'm hoping that it'll reseed itself and we'll have a fall crop or maybe early spring crop. Then here I planted some soybeans, and it looks like we had pretty good germination. It looks like there's might be 2 missing. But in this bed here we have the Jimmy Nardello and the Cubanelle peppers. The Cubanelle peppers are looking a little yellow, which I'm thinking maybe overwater. We did have 3 days of heavy rain, so I'm hoping that'll end up correcting itself over time. We did have one of the smaller Jimmy Nardello plants that did not make it. It was about the size of that one, maybe even smaller. So I did reseed that on Sunday, so we'll see if it comes up. But yeah, here's a closer look at the little soybean plants. And then back here we've got our sugar snap and our snow peas, which are doing very well. Harvested quite a bit already from them, and they're continuing to produce. You see all the snow peas on this plant. It's insane. And then here we have the potatoes, which have already started to break through the soil. So there's some in each bag. Yep, all coming up. And I did notice some little bugs on this, and I believe that's the potato beetle larva. So need to figure out what to spray on that to get rid of them. And then here in the center we do have our straw flower and echinacea, which are all looking pretty good. A couple of them have some leaves that are looking pretty bad, but I think they'll be all right. Like, I don't know what's going on with that one there. Then here we have, oh, I forgot to say, I had a pentas plant left over from the containers on the back porch, so I plopped it in right there. We have the rosemary, which is doing really good there. And the borage back here, I had to stake up because it was getting a little floppy. But all the blooms have pretty much come off of it, so I need to Google what to do with that, if I need to prune, like trim it so it has more shoots come out of it or what. But then here on this side, of course, we have the bee balm, which I have learned is very susceptible to powdery mildew. So hopefully I can get some pretty blooms on it before it gets to looking too bad, and then I can just chop it down to the ground. And then here we do have one of the zucchino, I believe that's a zucchino rampicante squash there. And then the winter squash here did come up. And then more zucchino rampicante came up along with the calendula there. And winter squash, and I believe I did plant a zucchino rampicante there that has not come up. So I need to reseed that. And then here is the other bee balm, which also has powdery mildew. Then I did have a leftover echinacea from the back porch planters, so I popped it there. And that's supposed to be the Echinacea purpurea, I believe is how you say it. So it's gonna be like a pinkish purple color. And then the lettuce that reseeded itself here, doing really good. I need to come in and cut on some of this. And then we do have the corn, which is looking really well. I still have not yet reseeded another succession of corn. I need to do that this weekend. Strawberries are producing, but honestly, the slugs are getting to them before I can, so just kind of letting the slugs have it. Then here we have the broccoli, which I think I've pretty much harvested all of the broccoli. 2 of the plants did not make it for some very odd reason. I could not figure out why. I'm wondering if it's something to do with like root damage. Maybe there's a mole or something eating the roots, because they've been covered this whole entire time and they've been receiving plenty of water. So don't really know what's there, but I did leave the plants so that they can put on some side broccoli shoots. And then the kale, I came in and did a pretty big harvest this weekend, so that's why some of the plants are looking pretty small, but there's still plenty of more to harvest. The spinach has all bolted, so I'm just letting it do its thing to reseed itself. And then once all this is done, I think this will become another corn bed, another succession of corn. Then here in the planters, I do have the herb planters, which the parsley looks terrible in every single one of them, so I don't know if the parsley is going to do anything, but the thyme and chives look good. And then here are the 3 planters of peanuts that nothing has sprouted yet, so really didn't expect much from them, so we'll see. And then another potato grow bag, and there are some that are starting to come up there as well. So I believe that is everything. Let's see. I did throw some zinnia seed up at the bench at the road to see hopefully if any of it comes up, and I did sow some over here as well under the tree. So yep, that's the garden tour for May 7th.